This is Heart Breakfast, Kev and Ros. Look who's here. It's Olly Murs. Yeah. Now, what we got planned, Ros?
We had so many listeners wanting to ask you questions that we have done the question Christmas tree.
Da-da!
That.
No expense spared on the budget. So, choose a cracker, and one of those will be a question from a listener.
Bang. You haven't got to pull it, just like read the question out.
Okay, right. Kaylee from Camborne. What's with the hats?
What's with the hats?
I'll tell you the story about the hats. It all started a long, long time ago in a village in Witham, Essex. A young guy called Olly Murs packed his suitcase for boot camp of the X Factor. And when he was on the way to boot camp and the X Factor, it was a sunny day. And young Mr. Murs had no... His hair was all over the place. He could not be bothered to do it. And he was thinking, if I'm going to get recorded on telly today, it's not going to look good. As, you know...
Yeah,
women and men, we have the same problem. You always want to look good in front of the camera. So I decided that I walked into a H&M store and bought a H&M hat for the show. And I ended up going to boot camp, and I wore Chubby hats anyway. And as obviously the boot camp came on, I wore it. It kind of became my mimic, my little thing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you know, as the sort of show went on and on, during the show, I kept wearing a hat. And then kind of now it's become my little trademark. So that's basically the story of the hat.
Kaylee, thank you very much for your question. Next
question. I'm going to go from this one. Michelle from Peterborough. Why do you drive around in a Naffold Fiesta? Actually,
Is that true?
You drive a Fiesta?
Naffold Fiesta. It is a Fiat Cinquecento. And if she heard you say that, she would not be happy. Basically, I've got a Fiat Cinquecento, and do you know what? I do drive around in it, and for me personally, it's my first car that I bought when I was 23. And it's red, it does the job, it gets me from A to B, and why do I need to be driving around in some fancy car?
Exactly. First cars are personal, aren't they?
Exactly. This one here is Angela from Warrington. Is Will Young your brother?
Angela.
No, he isn't,
No.
but people have said I look like a bit like Will Young.
That's all right, though, isn't it?
This is what someone said to me. They went, you kind of perform and look a little bit like Rob. No, you kind of perform like Robbie.
Yeah.
You look a little bit like Gary Barlow and Will Young.
Gary Barlow?
Yeah, that's what I've been told.
That's not bad now, though. He's all
looking
right.
good at the moment.
He's looking
Yeah,
good.
he's come
I
out
don't know
right.
if it's take that as a compliment, guys, or not. I don't know. But
Choose one more.
We'll go. Anyway, Sarah from Stamford. If you were a chocolate bar, which one would you be? Curly Whirly.
Come on,
Really?
let's get a couple more
Not
in.
Milky Way, so you're
Love
light and fluffy,
Curly
and I've
Whirly,
enjoyed you
Curly
before,
Whirly.
loads.
Curly Whirlies are good.
What do you think of this year's X Factor contestants? Caroline from Bourne. I think they're all amazing, really, really good. Love One Direction, love Mary, love Matt, love Cher, love Kate.
everybody.
Hold on a minute. Come on, they're not as everyone thinks they're not as good as last year's. If you're really honest.
If I would, only criticism I would have this year is that it's kind of gone back to the old X Factor. I thought last year they moved it on by a lot of performance acts. So you had the Jamies, you had the Dan, you had me performing, you had people that walked across the stage and just did things. I think this year they're all sort of standing on one spot and singing, which is, like you say, going back to the sort of old school days of the X Factor. So maybe in that sense, but there is still a lot of fantastic talent. But this one is from Kelly from St Notes. Is it true that you can beatbox? Can you prove it? Yes, I can prove it.
Go on then.
Go on then. Okay, this could be a good ending to the video blog.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Can we have a round of applause? He wants to do one more.
Joanna Newmarket, do you want my phone number and will you marry me? I can cook. Right, my number is 07...
Whoa. Final thing to say. Olly Murs,
Olly
Murs, right, he said already that he loves the hats. Would you mind if I just kind of went...
Do you want to sign that?
Can we nick your hat and sign it?
Of course we can. We're going
to nick his hat, Rosie.
Nick his hat.
We're going to nick the hat. And we are going to sign it.
Oh, wow. Now can we give it away on air?
Of course we can. We're going to give it away as a prize to everyone that's listening.
Okay.
And, yeah.
He is Olly Murs. We're Heart Breakfast, Kev and Ros. Feel the love.
Heart Breakfast with Kev